Hey everybody, we're back. It's Tyrene,
And Ron.
and tonight's topic is going to be we all have
Have a
a past.
past. Now, fellas, first of all, don't get scared. All right, don't be afraid. Don't shut the laptop right now. Okay, we are not going to address ex-girlfriends, baby mothers, ladies. We're not going to talk about the time you went through our phones or you thought you found something and you didn't. Okay, that's not the past we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about the couple past. We're focusing on the individual past. All right.
Your
um,
upbringing,
your upbringing,
how you
okay,
were
how
raised.
you were raised, okay, things that you psychologically brought from your upbringing, your childhood, okay, that you lacked back then, okay, that you're now bringing into your relationship, into your marriage, and holding your spouse responsible for, which isn't fair. So let's talk about it.
Yep. So I'm gonna give you guys a prime example. So my dad and I had an estranged relationship. So as we all know, growing up as young ladies, from your dad, you hear things like "you're pretty." That gives you the confidence that you need to basically understand your worth. Well, because I wasn't getting that from my dad early on in our relationship and throughout our marriage, I stressed a lot of what I didn't get from my dad in our relationship.
Yeah.
Prime example, if we were going out and, I thought I looked extra special and he didn't take the time to compliment me, it ruined the entire night. And it didn't happen once, it happened several different times. And it wasn't really until I took the time to really think, why is it so important to me? Why is it that if he doesn't say the words, "you're pretty, you're beautiful" on cue, or when I think he should
Mhm.
say it, why is it the end of the world? Why does it ruin an entire night? Well, I came to terms with this is something that I didn't get growing up. So I was looking to my husband to validate me in a way that my father did not. And at the end of the day, that's not fair to your marriage.
It's not. And I'll tell you, I asked her, I said, well, what was your relationship like with your dad? And, she told me, and some things came to light and some things didn't. Some things we really had to dig a little deeper for it, get counseling through, our spiritual leaders. And
Exactly.
it helped. It helped tremendously. And for my example, for my wife, again, my mom was a single black mom. And I will say one of the strongest black women out there. I mean, she did whatever she had to do to keep food on the table and the lights on for me and my sister. Um, Now my mom, again, as strong as she was, as independent as she was, she had her bumps, she had her ups and downs, and we weren't always with her. We had to stay with our grandmother a few times. But the one thing my mother taught me how to do, what she instilled in me, what she planted the seed was how to be strong. Okay, she was planting the seed as in how to be a man. Okay, meaning those, her relationship with men weren't the best. So of course she was teaching me what she didn't want me to become, okay, because of her experiences. Now, she was planting the seed for me to become a man. Ultimately, could my mother teach me to be a man? No, but she planted the seed. Okay. That being, my mother didn't teach me how to be a husband. Just so I had no clue when I got married. I had no idea what it meant to be a husband. Okay, I mean, and I would assume I'm being presumptuous, but like most guys, I'm like, okay, that means I'm just with you for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's kind of what it means. You my forever girlfriend.
Yeah. And it came up in certain situations, where I guess I had like this, what would you call it, like a fairy tale, so to speak,
Oh, definitely a fairy tale.
of
Yes.
how a husband was supposed to be, just based on things that I've seen in other couples. Maybe even got a little bit of TV in it. Just
Just a little
my
bit. Just a
impression
little bit.
of what a husband should be. And that strained the marriage as well, because I'm like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But you know what? Not understanding his upbringing, he didn't know those things. So ignorance was a big part of it as well. He wasn't taught those things. So how could he possibly bring those things to our marriage right off the bat? And I think the key is just communicating and talking about these things so that each person can improve
Yeah.
when it's all said
Stop
and done.
stop holding your mate accountable for things that's not fair. Stop holding your mate accountable because he's not giving you enough emotion. He probably is giving you enough emotion, but because I mean affection, I'm sorry, not emotion. He probably is giving you enough affection, but because you lacked it as a child, as in your past from either your mother, your father, or whoever, that you were raised with, because you lacked it then, you now want over and beyond
Exactly.
what he what's honestly fair of an expectation. Okay.
And it's important that you take that long look at your upbringing, some of the things that you know you were missing, because it could ultimately save your marriage. And the reason why I say this is because he was getting sick and tired of me telling him why I was angry because he didn't tell me I was pretty. It just became a redundant thing that ultimately didn't help our marriage. But when I took the time to really think about where it was coming from, I was able to heal and deal with that in my own time. And then it no longer became a stressor for my marriage. He also understood where it was coming from as well. So the bonus is now on his own, he's making that extra effort to make sure he tells me I'm pretty, to make sure he tells me I'm beautiful, because now he understands where it's coming from. So between sometimes married couples not understanding the spouse's background and then not communicating what it is that they feel like they're missing, it's the outcome can be disastrous.
Yeah. Now, as guys, of course, when your woman does ask you for extra things, again, those of us who don't know better, or who are new to being in a serious committed relationship, our fallback is, I'm not kissing your butt and telling you what you want to hear all day, every day. That's just what we fall to. That's our default. We look at it as, I guess, kind of you're not going to control me thing. Okay,
Hmm.
like, yeah, I understand we married, but I'm gonna still be me.
Right.
No, you're not. Okay, no, you're not. Marriage is compromise. Marriage is compromise on every level, from how you guys want to raise your kids, to what religion you guys are going to celebrate, to holidays, to who you are as an individual, because you're not an individual. You're not married to yourself. Okay? Everything is a compromise in marriage. So just have those talks, have those communications, ask those questions. Sweetie, why is this so important to you? And you may very well have to ask it more than once.
Yeah,
You
because
may have to
sometimes
have
we
that
don't
talk,
know.
because we don't know.
When he would ask me, I would just be like, it's just something that I want to hear, and that was really my honest to goodness like
Yeah,
response, and that's how I felt in the moment. But it was way deeper than that.
yeah.
It was way deeper than that. So I really feel like between your upbringing, between sometimes the man not knowing how because they weren't taught that when they were
Hmm.
growing up, is room for communication, is room to discuss to make the marriage better.
Yeah, keep that in mind, ladies. Most guys that don't come from, like I said, a two parent household, okay, where their parents were actually happily married, not just married because they had kids, but I'm talking about like happily married. Where do we have those examples?
Exactly.
I mean, we had the Cosby Show, okay, and I know we're dating ourselves right now. We had the Cosby Show. And I believe that was like the only positive black family that a lot of us had as role models back then. So ladies, don't be so hard on your man because he doesn't know. You think, well, you should know this. Why?
Maybe he
Where is he
doesn't.
going to get it from? He probably doesn't know.
Yeah, but here's the key though. Once it's brought to the marriage, once it's brought as something that we feel like you should know,
Yeah,
be willing to change.
absolutely,
Be
fellas.
willing to change, because I know our upbringing is not always fair. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I would have loved for my dad to be there. But you know what? It just made me stronger. And it just made this man right here want to love me even more because he understands. He now understands my past, and that's important.
Totally,
So,
totally important. Like again, the old saying is, you don't know where you're going unless you know where you're
wow.
from. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's just like your marriage. Unless you know where your spouse is from, you cannot see where your marriage is going.
absolutely. So talk about your past because we all have one.
We all have one.
And remember, marriage
Marriage
works.
works.